Okay, so this is just a brief review about one of the tools I use. I use this Kite. Uh, yes, this thing. And it's basically a Python helper tool. It integrates into the PyCharm interactive development environment and gives me very useful tips and tricks for code completion and various other suggestions. And I just want to demonstrate how powerful it is. So it's, as you can see, it's integrated here and I use the premium one, so I paid for these services, so I not using the free one, but the premium. Okay, so as you can see, here is a service. This is a Gmail API service, uh, which is a little bit complicated to work with. And of course, it's able to build it based on some strings for the Gmail and for the versions. And if I run it in debug, as you can see, that the type of this service is basically just resource, so it's nothing fancy. And I don't think that the PyCharm by itself has any idea about how and which kind of methods and properties and other data members this object has. But if you have this kite installed and you begin to write some code like this one, for example, to getting the messages, and after getting the messages, I just replace the breakpoints here. So, okay. So after I am getting the messages, as you can see, I have this next page token, and then I able to put this into the page token to get the next bench of messages because it's divided into pages and so on and so forth. But of course, it didn't know anything about this object or its properties or its methods because it's not visible for Python. But Kite used some kind of artificial intelligence or some kind of pattern matching around the internet and in my code to find out which I should call and how should I proceed. So, for example, if I start typing that service dot user and it sees that it has a user, or at least it suppose it has, and as you can see there is some suggestions based on my previous executions and also some other code chunks which is found on the internet and so on and so forth. But the most beautiful thing about it that if I start to type in some of these codes and I say that okay, so page token is equals to the message is indexed with some kind of strings, and I ask for a suggestion, it says that the option is maybe next token or next page token, which is a quite good suggestion based on that it didn't know anything about the context, just basically try to learn and figure out what I want to do. And these are very good suggestions. Even I am not sure it is correct or not. I right now I am know it's not correct because the messages didn't have these next page token with the underscore, but it has the next page token without the underscore and with the camel case version. So if I type the P, so I input some additional parameter or additional information for the artificial intelligence, then it says that next page token without the underscore and with camel case. So I can use this And if I didn't misread the documentation about the API and didn't mistype anything, then it will be able to execute. And as you can see, I am able to get the first page of the messages and the next page of the messages. So it's worked like a charm, and it's very clever. It didn't replace the developer, so it cannot figure out everything, but it's very good to suggest some key values for the string indexes and some other little tweaks and little uh, method suggestions when the PyCharm itself cannot know anything, uh, because it didn't know, and because it cannot be determined by inspecting this kind of code, and it's not evident which kind of object this is. So it's quite useful. I am very impressed by it, and I find it quite worth the money to buy it. And so, okay, I recommend it. I am very pleased with it.